I made my own pagination widget with custom features and I'm sharing it with you all. Yay. Okay, but why did I make my own pagination widget? It's because when you're creating a service portal or any external facing page or even internal facing page, you want any display that's displaying a large amount of records, especially if it has a lot of data in it, to be paginated, and you want it to be paginated on the server side. And so, for example, a lot of people don't know this, but if you go to support.servicenow.com and you go to your support account and you click on that My Instances dashboard, most of you never see a problem with this page because you only have a small number of instances. I, on the other hand, have more than 100 or 200 instances assigned to me. And what people don't realize is that this page, because they never expected anybody to have that many instances, was never set up to have server-side pagination. So you'll see on the screen, it looks like it's paginated, but that's all client-side paginated. So what's happening in the background is it's loading all of my instances information in one payload, and then won't give me access to it until the whole thing is loaded. And then when it does load, it's all dozens of pages are available at the same time on my browser, and I'm clicking through on the client side. So that's why it's loading so fast. The better way to have done this is if it was server-side paginated, so that I only have to load 10 instances at a time instead of waiting for my entire list of instances to load. And so ever since I realized this, I've always made my own pagination widget for Service Portal, and that's why I want to share it with you today, because making sure your pagination stuff is server-side and works well, it makes the user experience much better. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, cool. So if you go to this code snippet and copy and paste the code as is into the server script of the widget, and there's also an HTML one to put into the HTML side. So just with this HTML template and this server script that you can copy and paste, it creates this widget on the right. You can see on this widget that I have it already configured for the task table just for demo purposes, but you can change these configuration fields the whatever way you want to do it. But on the widget side, this is what happens just by copy and pasting it. It pulls the first 10 records and then paginates the rest. And this is actual server-side paginating with a proper window to know where you are on the page. And what my favorite part of this is I set up the script so that the pages that are displayed is complex and very intentional. So you'll see on this instance on the task table, we have about 142 pages of tasks. But as I start clicking forward, either by clicking on the arrow or by clicking on the number, you'll see that it added 2 more pages to the early numbers. And then as I move away from page 1, it will turn the gap into an ellipsis and then start displaying all the middle ones and continue that way all the way toward the end. And then when we get to the end, it gets rid of the end ellipses and then shows all the numbers and vice versa. The paging mechanism for what pages to display and when to show the ellipses and stuff like that is handled by this function, which I spent a lot of time and effort in making it work well and display exactly what I wanted. So that's my gift to you all. There's a lot of little things that I put into this little widget. So like, for instance, if you have 142 pages of data, but you type in something like page 180, it will automatically go to the last page instead of erroring out thinking, hey, there's no page here. Other things that I have baked into this widget is if you want to display more than the default 10 records per page, you can go into your parameter and say display 20, and it will display 20 and adjust the pages accordingly. You could do even a lot more than that and do 200, and it still displays 200 and then adjusts the page accordingly from there. Another thing that I added in is that if you want the user to be able to add a encoded query into the URL, that also works. All you have to do is add the parameter query and then whatever your encoded query is. So in this case, active equals true, and it will filter it down to just the active tasks. So whatever encoded query you want inside of the URL. And that means you could take any of these parameters and put it inside of your own buttons or URLs that you provide to your user. And whatever custom parameters that you add into the URL will maintain as you click through. And it's still server side. It maintains the display amount and it maintains the user query, even though you're paging through. Awesome. That's all. Bye.